92Q, Nashville's R&B and throwbacks. Hey, hey, it's Ebon'e, and it's R&B vibes. I'm always giving you a good vibe. Right now, I am with a queen, but she calls herself King, sis. She's an amazing artist. How are you, King, sis?
I'm very good. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, y'all. Your vibe is just so laid back. Well, I gotta start with asking you, why King Sis? What is the whole reasoning behind King Sis?
You know what? Everybody asks me this, and my answer is probably so disappointing because it's not a very interesting story. But um, so my name basically, but nickname is Sis. Everybody's called me that since I was a kid. My
Yeah.
dad is actually the one who gave me the nickname. It's pretty common for like a Southern family. So I'm from DC. Majority of my family is from Southern Virginia. And sis is a very common nickname. Like I have an aunt sis, so um my granddad's sister was also a sis and my dad just called me sis. So yeah, I'm also a big sister. And I have two little brothers.
Mm.
And yeah, and for the most part everybody that meets me and gets to know me just feels like I'm a sibling. So everybody just naturally calls me sis. But yeah, so sis is my name that everybody calls me. And then King was kind of odd. So I added it maybe like 2013, 14 when I first started like creating profiles under my name and getting my
Mm.
SoundCloud going. And usually they asked for a first and last name. And I'm like, well, I just want to be sis, but I didn't want to use my, government last name. So I ended up just making King my first name and sis my last name for everything. And it ended up sticking in a weird way. I don't know. I didn't want to use Queen only because at the time, especially, it was being used so much and seemed very cliche. And I just went with Queen. Oh, I just went with King.
And it stuck with you. I mean, it is a name that sticks out. I remember when I first got introduced to your music and I saw King Sis, I was just like, huh. And I
Yeah.
loved it. It stuck out to me. I never
It's
would have
sweet.
imagined that would be the name, or Queen Sis or just Sis. But King Sis, it sticks out, and it definitely still embodies the loyalty of your voice and of your music. Tell me real quick, what inspires your penmanship? Because I swear, when I listen to your songs, I not only get the self affirmation, but I also get the understanding of my placement when it comes to love and relationships.
hmm Yeah, that's a really good observation. So, like you said, the like royalty and like a sense of self-awareness, that's like really important to me, and important to my music, and that does kind of like inform a lot of what I write. So generally, just like anyone else, the majority of life is about love. So either trying to get it, trying to get over it, trying to have self-love, even, just for your family and friends, like just different relationships. Like relationships are the essence of life. And so, yeah, in order to have successful ones outside of yourself, you really have to have the best relationship with yourself first. And so, yeah, I really do like to write about like, yeah, affirmations, just like a sense of, yeah, royalty within self, understanding and knowing your worth. And, it's a lifelong journey. It's a process that never ends, really. You're constantly learning and rediscovering yourself. But yeah, it's really important to me to always be like assured within self. And yeah, that plays out in relationships as well. So it plays out in my writing because that's what I write about, relationships.
Well, like you said, it's a process, but what in this current mindset that you're in now, what's the process? What level are you in? Are you in the I'm still trying to figure out myself, or where are you at right now?
I'm always trying to figure out myself. That's going to be a never-ending journey on earth. But as far as my music and how it's sounding, in relationship to like where my life and my mindset is right now, it's
Yeah.
very much about fun. Like it's so much about fun. And so like the new music that I've been writing is more up tempo, more a little more pop, but still, R&B based, of course. Like I can't get away from my sound, but
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely more fun. And I'm writing about things that aren't, like really directly about relationship when it comes to like love and partnership with somebody, but yeah, just about fun in life, travel, eating good, enjoying the luxury of life, and not necessarily like monetarily, but just like peace and happiness and, exploration, like even if it's within your own hometown. Like I recently actually moved back to my hometown, which is Washington, D.C., and
Oh,
I'm exploring that like it's new for me, for the first time. So yeah, just a lot of fun.
yeah, because we went from being home to LA, and now you're back home. Why did you just decide to move back home?
Well, I had a great 7, 8 year run in LA, and I came to do something specific, and I did what I came to do. I loved everything that LA gave me as far as career, but also as far as like the atmosphere. Like, you have every type of environment there, every type of nature. You got the beach, you got the mountains, you have wine country, you got the snow not too far, you got the desert not too far. Like everything's there. It was great for my peace of mind and what I needed at the time in life. And now at the time in life, I need my family,
Yeah.
everybody's here. And I'm watching all of my siblings and friends and cousins have kids, and their kids are getting older, and I'm missing, their lives and the important, things like
Yeah.
their soccer games and birthdays. And so, yeah, and parents getting older, like really just wanted to be here for my family. So, and yeah, it's doing something for me that I didn't know it would do, which is really, yeah, self-discovery in a new way. Like this is my hometown, but so much changes here so often.
Mhm.
And every time I came to visit, I literally just was in and out. So now I'm really exploring my city again, like I'm a tourist, and it's fun. It's fun.
Well, how's the music scene back at home in comparison to LA?
Very different. So DC is very niche in its music scene, and there's so much talent and so many incredible musicians here. I know that the world is just getting to know the talent that's here with a few artists that are from here, but really like the musicianship is like so key. And there's a genre of music in DC that isn't maybe as world familiar, but it's called go-go. And so in my new project, you're going to get some of that. It's very heavily percussion based.
Okay.
Even the way other instruments play on the music is very percussive, and so you're going to hear a lot of that. It adds to the fun, like feeling of the music, but also I'm going to do a remix of one of my songs on my Ascension album in like the typical go-go style of music. So I'm really excited about that.
Describe the go-go style. Is it like R&B or is it more popish? Like, can you describe that style to us?
It's so unique. Like it's sure like any other Black genre. It's super rooted in like like R&B chord progressions and gospel kind of roots and sounds, but it's also very African influenced. Like it's heavy on the drums, congos and bongos, and yeah, there's like a certain pocket that you just can't compare to anything else. It's really a genre within itself, but definitely with those gospel and R&B influences.
Okay, I'm excited because you said you're gonna bring that in with your latest project coming out, Ascension Deluxe. Now, tell us what is going to be the premise behind this new project.
So the idea behind Ascension in general, with the original album,
Hmm.
it was all about like progression and progression mainly in different relationships, like we talked about, self, with partners, family. Even on my original album, I had a clip with my granny and really like discovering, some of who I am through my grandmother. She's since passed since that album released, but like I definitely feel like her spirit carries through this with the deluxe album. Just the fun energy of it. Like my granny was fun. Like she was peaceful, like
Mhm.
very similar to me, but she also loved to like pop her fingers and dance. Like, that was what she called it, popping her fingers. So yeah, it's got a lot of that, just progressing from that. The original album ends with her in a voicemail that she had sent me years back. And so it's continuing that in her spirit. And also the spirit of, yeah, back being on the East Coast. So there's going to be some like DC sounds. There's going to be some Baltimore clubs, some Jersey club. Like there's a lot of East Coast on this project. And the idea of ascending into just like joy, just fun.
Okay, ascension, progression. I love all of it. And I wanted to ask you about that voicemail. That had to be such a hard process to allow yourself to put that on a project and then to continuously hear it. What was the reason? Well, of course, I know the reasoning behind the decision, but how has that been dealing with that? Like, oh my gosh, this is on my project. I hear it. I'm being vulnerable. I'm being open. Other people can hear. What was that like?
It's one of like so many things that are so vulnerable on my album, but like all of my songs really that I write, like I'm writing about what I'm experiencing, usually in real time, and I just don't have names or faces or like too specific of details in the lyrics. But yeah, it's all very vulnerable. People just don't know the realness behind it. But yeah, this one with my granny, it's a name on it, and the relationship with my grandmother. And I shared how she was going through a dementia, like early onset, but then transitioned into Alzheimer's, and really her passing was twofold with her, leaving us before she left the earth. Like her mind didn't know who we were anymore and all that. So I've shared that is a little more vulnerable because it's so detailed and specific what I've shared. But really everything that I write and share is very specific. You guys just don't know who it's about.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that song. It was Encore that got me, and I think it's Help Me Out Thinking About You, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, those two songs, I'm just like, oh, who was it? What happened?
Right, exactly.
And are you, of course, you're not surprised by the success, but the success of Thinking About You, that really has taken up Spotify by storm. What has been the feedback been from your listeners, from your audience when it comes to that song?
You know what? I love that is the song that took off because it's really the first song that I wrote for the album. I mean, I'm sorry, not the album, but actually it was the first song that I wrote for the album, now that I think about it. But it was also the first song that I wrote for the label that I'm working with now. And it was kind of like a whirlwind because I signed to them. It's really more of a partnership because it's not a typical label deal. Like I'm still independent. But as far as distribution is concerned, they're involved. And so, yeah, I had just started working with them and working with some of the producers that they have, on their roster as well, that they typically work with. And I flew out to Sweden for it, met like a whole group of people who were just there to like work on music for the week together. And it was the first song that I wrote with them. And I was so like surprised at how smooth everything happened. Like being an independent artist, you do everything by yourself, like literally everything by yourself. And it was the first chance I had to collaborate in a in-person way with everybody there in one studio to just make the best art as possible at one time. And that was a really beautiful experience. And I'm so glad that what came out of it was a song that everybody else, picked up on and can relate to. Like it did really well on TikTok and people create dance videos to it. And I'm just like, dang, I wish I had done a music video too. Like it's such a great song. I mean, that song doesn't even have background vocals. Like we just wrote it and it just felt good. And it was like, yeah, this is it. Like, I even remember coming back to LA and trying to, okay, let me flesh it out some more. Like, let me add some background vocals, a little more runs here and there. Like, none of it felt the same. Like, the energy that was there at that studio in Sweden just translates on the song. And so I'm really glad that that is actually the song that translates most with my audience as well.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to perform, well, not perform, but play that to our audience, because I know that is going to be, that's the song. That is the song that they're going to be like, oh, I can relate. But all of your songs are very relatable, and I think that you are a fantastic, fantastic artist. Let me know this: if somebody is just now learning you, just now experiencing the King Sis vibe, what are they learning? Who is King Sis, and would describe your vibe to that person that just being introduced to it?
Okay, so if anybody was being newly introduced to me, I would say first listen to some songs because I could describe myself, but it's nothing like hearing and feeling it.
This is true.
So the first song I would absolutely say to listen to would definitely be Yeah You. Yeah You, and in parentheses, Thinking About You. That's the title. I would also listen to a song called Present, in parentheses, Mantra. That's off of my only EP called Ka. Definitely listen to that one, and you'll understand like where that self-awareness aspect comes into my writing. And I would give one more song that I actually wrote before my first album came out, and it's called Hiatus. And if you listen to that song, you'll understand like just how I feel about life. Like, take time away to just like be like in real life, And so, yeah, I would say after you listen to those songs, okay, then listen to this description that I have of myself, which would probably be just in general an R&B singer who sings about like peace and finding harmony in relationship, finding harmony with yourself and living on this earth, and finding the best methods and ways to cope, because there's no such thing as a life without issues. So yeah, just singing through life, really.
It's crazy thinking about how you started. I think you said, I think on your bio, 9 years old, BET commercials.
Yeah.
Seeing that, and to now having your own sound and being this front artist. I mean, it has to be just a big wow factor for just like, whoa, life is different. It's definitely a blessing.
Yeah, life be lifing. From doing voiceover work for BET at 9 to now. I mean, actually, to speak on that, I would love a full circle life and career moment if I could get back into voiceover acting. Like after I kind of, get where I want to get with music, I can divide my focus a little more and do more voiceover acting. Like, I would love that. Oh my goodness. But yeah, from doing that as my first job in life, using my voice, in that way, speaking but recording, to now, it's just the journey. The journey.
And the journey continues, because I cannot wait till you get your Grammy that day. That day is going to be a good day. I can't wait for that one.
Woo. I mean, I practice my little speech all the time, so
I'm ready. I know you have.
I'm ready.
Have. Have you practiced your walk too? Are you going to just like sashay, or what would you do?
I don't know. I haven't practiced my walk. I should do that, but
you should. You should just do that. Just be like, hi, people. This is and just fling your hair and everything. Like, that would be a vibe.
I love that. I love that.
Well, I thank you so much. I know your new project, Ascension Deluxe, that comes out. When does that come out?
The date is April 30th, and it's going to be the 3rd year anniversary of the original album, Ascension.
Okay, and people are going to be able to get that on streaming through all platforms. Tell me, how can people connect with you? What is your socials?
You can follow me everywhere at the same tag, I Am King Sis. So that's IAM KINGSIS, and that's Instagram, Twitter. I'm doing a little bit better with TikTok. I'm not the greatest, but same handle. And then also on YouTube at I Am King Sis.
All right, y'all. That is King Sis. She is amazing. And I'm telling you right now, as you are checking out her vibes right here on R&B Vibes, you're going to feel, I don't know, royalty. There we go. You're going to feel so much in your presence. So get ready for it. I'm Ebon'e, and this is R&B Vibes on Nashville's R&B and Throwbacks 22Q. Thanks, y'all.